Alrighty, hello everybody, my name is Jason and I am here with Steven for our very first episode of Grand Line Gaming. So,
Woo!
yeah! Alright, we're gonna have, guests are gonna vary between people. Obviously, I will always be on this segment because I'm the only one with a capture card. And that helps make the thing work. So, we're going to take it by ear. We're going to play it by ear. We're going to see how this works out. We're going to be playing Kaizokumoso to begin with, obviously. As you can see, the main log. I'm going to be going through my saved file, so that'll help us get through the game quicker, and also we'll be able to play other games too. Now, maybe we may not do just One Piece games. We may take recommendations. Conversation will be based on you guys. Ask questions, One Piece related, not One Piece related, whatever. This is more of like a hanging out with the One Piece podcast kind of thing. You know, we play games, drink stuff, you know.
I'm drinking coffee.
Relax. Yeah, I got Gatorade, so I'm all fanciful. You see, I'm drinking Gatorade because this is like a sport. It's video game.
Yeah, exactly. Well, with all the button mashing you do in this game,
oh, I'll be
you
breaking
lose those
a sweat.
electrolytes.
Oh yeah, gotta make those electric lights back. All right, and I will be constantly looking at the chat, but no, we have Steven to look at the chat to answer your questions. So, let's see. Hot tea. Go with tea. Tea is more Japanese. So shall we get started?
All right, let's go.
All right, we're going to go to the main log, and we're going to start at the very beginning. Yes. Should I play the whole game as Time Skip Luffy?
Oh, yeah, that's right. You can choose your costume, can't you?
I think I should play the whole game as Time Skip Luffy.
Well, considering that you are level 50 total badass, it would make sense that you're basically like a time traveler version of Luffy that has come back to totally destroy all of his past foes.
Yes, Luffy and the TARDIS. Oh god, that's right, nobody's here to stop me from making Doctor Who references. God help us all.
You're gonna make those Doctor Who references, and I'm not even gonna know what you're talking about.
See, there we go. And don't worry, I am not going to skip any of the videos, but I will talk through them. So, Steven and I have played this game for a while. Steven, what are your thoughts? Oh, after playing the game for a while.
It's a lot of fun. I think, definitely since we sort of breezed through the main log and spent most of our time just sort of playing as the other characters and trying to get all of the bonus coins and get all the trophies and stuff. I sort of forgot how cool all of these cinematics and stuff in the main story are. Mm-hmm. But you can get a little tedious, when you're just like farming, basically playing the same level over and over again to get the best scores and to get the best coins and stuff. So
yeah, or get 100,000 people.
Right. But that's basically what Dynasty Warriors is about. So it's not anything that was a surprise to me. But it's just I really like switching around the characters because they all play so differently, and you get to see all their moves. So even when you are just sort of killing the same wimpy guys over and over again, it's just a lot of fun to to play as these characters that we know so well.
Yeah, I agree. I've had a lot of fun with the game, and it's pretty fun to just go back and play with these characters, and yeah, I'm just enjoying it immensely, actually. More so than at first. But that's because, as you level up the characters, you unlock more movesets and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I think once you reach level 20, you unlock everybody's square, 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 triangle, or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. And either once you beat their log or you get to about level 20-ish, you get their best specials, and some of those are really cool. Like you get Monster Chopper and Gear Second, Gear Third for Luffy, and Sanji's Diablo Jam, and just really really cool stuff to see.
Right. Oops. Yeah. And I gotta say that, like, for example, in the cutscenes, as we're seeing right now, the, what are they called? Where you have to press the button right away when it pops.
The quick time events.
Quick time events. I like how they do it with the manga panel, which is kind of an indication, hey, this is coming up, so pay attention.
Yeah, it's nice that they do that. There are a lot of games that don't do that, and I think, as a gamer, you sort of get used to the idea that when you're watching the video, you can just sort of zone out and enjoy it. And then some games, they just pop it on you and you're totally unexpected. And here they choreograph it like this, where you see the the little indicator pops up and.
Yeah.
Although some of them can be a little tricky. I think some of the later ones, they don't give you a lot of time to...
During the adventure levels, it's kind of like, you just start going and you're trying to go through the level. Like, in Water 7 a lot, when we get to that, it's kind of like, oh, I'm supposed to press L1 there. Whoops. Because, I'm so pressed, like, L2, R2, L2, R2. Hey, what's this? So, yeah.
Yeah.
So drive the conversation.
Yeah, so obviously what we see here, this is basically the tutorial stage that is on Sub-Audi, and basically helps you get used to the combo system in the game. It tells you, you have to do all of these certain things. You have to get Gumu Gumu Whip and Gumu Gumu Rocket, and kind of shows you the ropes of the game. And then obviously from there you sort of go back to the start of the story, and then it sort of proceeds chronologically. Yeah, I know. I remember, Jason, I think the first time you played this, because you got the game before I did, and so we were originally streaming it before I had actually seen what was going on, and you didn't know what it was actually asking you to do, because it wants you to do all these combos, and it's there's a lot of information on the screen. I was playing, every once in a while I play this with my roommate on this 2-player split screen, and the one thing that you notice is there's just so much. There's like quotes that are being thrown out there, and there's like a little mission indicator that tells you what you need to do next, and you have your life gauge, and you have your combo meter, and your KO count, and everything, and there's just like information constantly just flying at you from all angles, and it's definitely a bit bewildering if you don't learn. You get used to like which things you need to pay attention to and which things you need to just sort of ignore.
Yeah. So, no, I mean, the tutorial stage, I mean, it's still fun. I mean, it was nice to kind of start off with the whole time skip aspect of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you get to, especially because, when you get to use him in this first level, he's like at max level and max health, and so he can do all of these cool moves that normally you wouldn't see until after you had pretty much played the entire game through as Luffy. So it was a nice way to sort of tease the really neat effects and the best moves before you actually earn them.
Yeah, and I mean the only difference between like Luffy with the time skip is that his regular special is elephant gun instead of rifle. I mean, you could also unlock costumes for time skip Zoro and Sanji because they're in this cutscene, so the models are built. But basically, with them, it doesn't change. Now, you said you just realized this, but when they glow blue like that, you could actually shield break them.
Yeah, it's definitely in Dynasty Warrior games. They tend to come in two styles, and usually in Dynasty Warriors, particularly in the main series, X is jump. And in some of the other ones, like I believe in the Fist of the North Star one, it was the same way. X here is dash, so you can't actually jump to avoid things, but you can dash, and it's definitely a skill that you need to figure out if you want to play the game well. Because you can use that to avoid enemy attacks, and you can use that. It's particularly useful, for people that play fighting games as a cancel. It stops your combo that you're working now, and then you can start another one without having to go through the full animation and end up with the cooldown period. So, learning how to switch off between attacking and dashing is definitely a big key to mastering this game.
Yeah. Now, another thing that people are seeing in this game is the beats. And beats are pretty much whenever, like how many people you get in a row.
Yeah, your beat meter resets every time you get knocked off your feet.
Yeah.
And it's a huge thing because when you get graded at the end of the level, they count a couple different things, and one of them is the beat meter. Another one is the number of guys that you beat with your special, and then if you can also team up with other characters in the level, and you can, if you utilize a certain combo that corresponds to that character, they'll jump in and you can use them for about 2 seconds, and so guys that you beat with that will also count to this total, and that total ends up giving you bonus coins that you use to make skills and improve your character. So you definitely sort of learn to treasure that beat combo and make sure you get it as high as possible, because it definitely gives you lots of rewards for doing that.
Yeah.
And it also gives you a letter grade based on how big your biggest beat combo was.
Yeah, and also as we saw with some of the bosses, they have like these little quick time event things where you press R1 and it goes into like a little cinematic thing, which you get trophies for pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, it took me a while, but I eventually figured out that once you get to your beat meter or combo to 50, then every guy that you beat after that, as long as your beat combo is alive, it will get you the exclamation points, which you can see popping up over these guys' heads occasionally.
Yeah, that's when you have your beat meter over 50, or you use either a support character or a special move.
Right. Yeah, and that's what you really want in the long term, to get those coins.
Yep.
Now, Jason, you have, well, I guess you're missing one coin still, right?
Yes, I am missing the Doflamingo mark coin, which is the only coin. I didn't need it, luckily, to make any skills, so I did make all the skill sets.
Right. So you have all of the trophies now. You have the platinum trophy?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still, I have not played it enough to get that, but basically, I think, maybe once this level is over, you'll be able to show off how the coins work. But you get these coins for beating levels and for getting high.
Well, not in the tutorial. After the Buggy level, I'll get coins, but.
Okay, but anyways, you can you equip these on your character, and it's sort of an interesting layout. Basically, you get more slots to put the coins in as you gain levels. Although since you're level 50, you'll have all of them once we're allowed to use the coins. But
yeah, you get 9 slots total per character, and there are some where you could actually do 9-slot combos. Like you could use like all the Straw Hat characters, all the Straw Hat's marks, or all the New World Straw Hat marks.
Right. There's one for the basically the forces of justice. I think the title of that skill is Ultimate Justice, or Unflinching Justice, or whatever it is. So normally the coins have a value that will increase one stat. They'll either correspond to your hit points, your attack, or your defense. And the higher the value, the more they will add to that stat on your character. But then you can also combine 3 of them into these certain skills, and there are 100 of them in the game, and they all have unique effects, and they all correspond to some combination of characters or ideas that you would recognize in the game. Like, for example, any three of the Straw Hats you can combine, and that will be the Straw Hat Pirates. There are coins for the three ships in the game: the Mary, Sunny, and the Moby Dick.
Yeah.
So you can combine all three of those. There are like weapon items for all of the main Straw Hats, and so you can combine them with their items, and that usually has some skill associated with it. So you can sort of figure out a lot of it just by guesswork, just by sort of combining things that go together in the story. But there's a trophy for getting all 100 skills, which takes a while. You pretty much need just about all the coins in order to get them, and I know Jason has spent a ton of time the last few weeks getting all of those coins.
Yeah, after work, it's funny. I would always come on, and I'd actually be talking to you. I'm like, "I get any new coins?" Me either, son of a.
Yeah.
It was pretty annoying. Anything with random stuff is always annoying, and Japanese games seem to like that a lot.
Yeah. Well, they definitely like to get their money's worth out of games, I guess.
Yeah, and they've been releasing the DLC every week, too, which is going to keep people busy. I know I haven't invested in any of it. I'm probably waiting for the future, combo packs, but I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah, I kind of doubt it, too. I don't plan to buy any of the costumes, but I may... if I can work out the, buying from the actual Japanese shop, I may try to get some of the scenarios just to see what they're like.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they may have, new characters in the future. Who knows?
Right.
Which would kind of suck.
I don't know. I kind of doubt that they're going to put new characters, but they definitely have. Because they released the, the advanced schedule, and at least through mid to late May, they have, just a costume and a scenario per week.
Right. Yeah. All right. Actually, you know what? We've been talking about Muso a lot. Have there been any other games you've been playing lately?
Lately? Well, I know the only other game that I've played recently, and I know you played this too, is Journey on the PS3 downloadable game, which was pretty awesome. I definitely had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, that was actually kind of funny because I'm like, hey, I just beat Journey. It's like, oh, did you play it with another person? I'm like, was that what that was?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that it was online at the moment. I was like, hey, I ran into an NPC along the way, and he helped me do stuff. I helped him do stuff like reach higher ground. But yeah, that was interesting. I actually got all the trophies in that too. I swear, I'm not really this much of a trophy whore. It's just sometimes they're easy, and I'm like, yeah, why not? It's fun.
Yeah. I know Greg definitely is. I don't know. Have you ever looked at Greg's trophy list on his profile?
I mean, there are some games where, I don't have platinums or anything. There are some games where I have very few trophies because it's like I didn't care for the game, like L.A. Noire.
Yeah. Greg has, platinum trophies on at least half of his games, I think.
Yeah. So, usually, pretty much... it's not so much when it's easy, it's how much I enjoy the game as well. There are a few games that are hard that I do have all the trophies, but it's just because I really enjoy it. But the thing is, if I'm enjoying a game a lot, it's easy for me to get the trophies. If I'm not enjoying it, that's what I mean by I don't really care. So by easy, I mean it's easy for me to play the game through to get all the trophies. What trophy level am I? I think I'm 12.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think I'm at 7. I tend to buy when there's multi-platform games. I tend to buy on an Xbox, so I have more.
Oh.
I have more of those on that system than I do on the PS3.
No, I only have PS3 and Wii, so yeah. And here we get to see Time Skip Luffy go through Buggy's level. I think it's kind of a nice mark because, with Nami's outfit, her shoulder's showing, so they just bandaged it for now.
Yeah, that was interesting. I think a lot of people were sort of confused or a little bit annoyed that they didn't really... I mean, they did a pretty good job with Luffy of giving him, his proper costumes for each of these stages, but obviously that's not Nami's original
God,
outfit.
no.
And it was at least nice that they went to the trouble of hiding the tattoo, because it's obviously sort of a story point.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of. I wish like in alternative costumes or something, you could at least like maybe do that. Like pick the different design. Like maybe choose her with like the Arlong tattoo. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess it just seems like, all of the work that they put into the alternate costumes, they just did for the DLC,
Right.
which is a bit unfortunate.
Yeah. Let's see. Come on. I'm doing the damn move. Ah.
Now there's obviously lots of different combos that you can do using the square and the
Right.
triangle buttons. Do you tend to like really vary things up and use lots of different moves, or do you tend to stick to like square, 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 triangle, triangle, triangle,
No,
stuff like that?
I try to mix it up. Oh, there we go. I had it powered all the way. Haha. Yeah, actually, that's kind of funny. With Whitebeard's R1, if you hold it too long, he'll just start coughing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which, I mean, they have, like, these, like, little nice things. Like, they have Brooks' Weird Run, which I always enjoy.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Here we go.
So
So this is
matchstick
pretty much
legs.
telling me I could use R1 to reflect the cannonballs.
Yeah, pretty much every character has like unique actions that they do with R1 and or R2.
Luffy, you could
Uh,
switch through them with the D-pad. I usually like Bazooka.
Yeah, it's a little tricky because it's something that you have to do that sort of it's harder to do on the fly as you're trying to do other things. So I really hated it when I got to a point where I needed to use balloon to defend against cannonballs, or a bazooka to break the guys with the shields.
Mm-hmm.
I always found that sort of annoying because I couldn't actually, get to it. I suppose I could have memorized, how many, with the position of them on the little rotating menu, so that I knew exactly how many times I needed to press the button to get to them. But
Right.
it is a little tricky. Although, it does mean that he has the tools to deal with these different things, because most characters you can't necessarily, stop the guys that have the cannons and stuff.
Yeah. I don't care about using R1 here. I'll just beat them. And the D-pad with the up and down, you could view the map.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah, I kind of, maybe it's just because I'm a little bit old school, but I usually like moving with the D-pad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's always my preference.
You remember on the PlayStation 1 when they first came out with the analog sticks, and it was like half the games didn't even use them, and
Right.
it was really weird. I remember I had a long sort of adjustment period to get used to that
Right.
when they switched to that style.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
I see you used Luffy's attack where he grabs the guy and then spins him around in a circle,
Yeah.
and then throws him up against. So I really like that one.
I like it. I think it's who is it? I think it's Jinbei, where he will grab or Whitebeard, where he'll grab someone and just attack people with the guy.
Yeah.
That's always amusing.
Yeah, I really think, because there's a lot of discussion before the game came out, when we were still finding out how many characters there would be in the game and who would be playable and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously, you always want more just because there's so much
I know.
to call from in the series. But I think when you actually see and sort of figure out all of the different styles that each character has, like, I definitely feel like they made the right choice with the number of characters that they had, because they each once you know all of their skills and can pull off the variety of moves that they use, it is really interesting to see all the little details that they put into them, and I know that takes them a while to come up with all that stuff.
Right,
So
all the playable characters are different, and I could see that they were kind of starting to get upon that limit where they couldn't really fit anymore unless making characters the same, because like with Sentomaru and Jinbei, they pretty much are the same character, like the mechanics.
yeah, there are certain guys where you can see a little bit of overlap in terms of their moves.
Yeah,
Although you only see Sentomaru on Sabaudi, so he's not. You only see him every once in a while. But yeah, definitely some repetition there.
so I think they picked the right time to like call it.
Yeah, and it definitely shows you just based on the number of things that they can do that there's definitely a threshold in terms of like how many fight scenes has this character had, like how many moves has Oda created that they can actually call upon to use, where certain guys, even though fans may like them and may want to use them, like there's just not enough original material to turn them into a playable character.
Yeah, like they didn't have any of the rookies. I think they will next time. At least Law.
Yeah, I think you and I are both in agreement that whatever it is that they do for a sequel, assuming that they make one, which I'm positive they will because they sold 500,000 copies of the game.
Yeah, I think they're at like 800,000 for just a Japanese only game. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. So I feel like they're definitely going to come up with like a concept for what a sequel would have, like either like One Piece villains or One Piece rookies or something like that, where they introduce just a whole new batch of playable characters.
Yeah, as long as it's not like here's a rookie pack for downloadable content. Full.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and here I'm playing as Zoro. It kind of mixes it up a little bit. Oh yes, and we do have an official name. It is Grand Line Gaming, for that who asked. That's the name of this segment.
I think it works pretty well.
Yeah.
It rolls off the tongue nicely.
I think so too. So congrats. I like seeing like a little Luffy here, but also with Select you could do like little actions. So with Zoro he puts on his bandana, and that actually carries over to cutscenes too. So if you if you take off someone's hat or put on their bandana, well I guess here it doesn't, of course. But I've noticed with a few of them it does do that. Like I've noticed with the Enies lobby bosses, I was able to put on Luffy's hat and it had all the little cutscenes with Luffy's hat on.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that they do this in the main log, where there are certain spots where whatever character joins in that part of the story, like they make them playable for a little bit, just so you get a taste of them, before you're actually able to play them.
I like when they trick you, like the Luffy versus Usopp one.
Right, and you play as Usopp instead of Luffy.
Well, like they did the whole camera zoom out where you were behind Luffy, like you were about to play with him, and then the music changed and it just like rotate around Usopp. I'm like, oh shit. And then we have that Order 7 level. Let's not talk about that yet. So yes, Zoro does have Asura, so it's pretty cool. No, I think they did a fantastic job with just the mannerisms of the characters.
I got an ad.
Oh, but anyways, just to keep the conversation going, who's your least favorite character to play with, and who's your favorite? Or do you feel like you haven't had enough time to really deduce that?
No, I mean I've played all of the characters. The max level is 50 in the game, and I think all of my characters are at least level 20 now.
Yeah, mine are at least level 24.
I don't know. I would say, I guess I'm not a big fan of playing as Nami. She has a pretty tricky style because and I guess as we may see at some point, she has a lot of close range combos, and what happens is her R1 is a move that calls down lightning over these clouds that she creates, with her clim attacks. And what happens is just as you do more attacks and more combos, they will automatically start to form over the enemies that you're hitting. And then the idea is that you do a little combo and then you press R1 to finish it off, and she will zap all those guys that are still alive. But sometimes you don't necessarily want to do that because it does take some time for the animation to go through on the R1 thing. And if you don't use it, the clouds just sit there, and they're really big, and they can be really distracting, and they can get in front, between the camera and the character, and then you can't really see anything.
Right.
So it can be annoying, and I feel like she has she doesn't have as big of a variety of moves as I would like, to sort of get around that. Most of them are these sort of little acrobatic things that hurt the guys right next to you, but she doesn't quite have all of the big surrounding attacks and long range attacks. So she's a little trickier.
Yeah, I gotta say I agree with you too, just because of the whole, hey, I can't see the screen now, and I know with Usopp, when it gets to some of the bosses, it's a bit of a pain just because he only has the long range.
Yeah, but he's definitely an expert character because he's so technical.
Right.
Usopp has, most of his moves are slingshot moves. So he stands still and then shoots guys from a distance. But he uses a lot of his, fire projectiles, and he'll throw down his little spike things that he does on occasion. So if you really know how to use him well, he's pretty awesome. But it's definitely way different than just about any other character in the game.
Yeah. So these.
I know. Greg was saying the other day that Usopp is a beast because I guess he was getting pretty good with him.
Right. I mean, there are some times where I did feel like that, and then sometimes where it's like, holy crap, Kizaru, stay the hell still.
Yeah.
But that's another story. Kizaru?
Oh, yeah.
We'll get more to him later.
Yeah.
So, any questions from the chat that we haven't answered?
Let's see. I think we have a question. I think someone was asking maybe, I think they're asking about Asura. Is Asura a move or is it a mode like Second Gear?
Oh, it's not a mode, it's a move. And basically, how, like, right now you'll see 4 little yellow things for Luffy? Basically, you have 4 different specials, and the most powerful is you could charge it up all the way to the 4th, which is Gear 3rd. But, let's see, I'll get to an area where I'll actually charge it up and show you. But, okay, so let's just say against Buggy we want to use Storm. That's if you use 2 of them. So I'll charge it up to past 2, and there's a little text indication as well that'll let you know what move he's about to do. So with Zoro, you would do 2 as well. So for example, I hold it to Gomu Storm, and yeah. So instead of just pressing it, which would do rifle.
Just took down half.
Or elephant gun, I should say. But yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. He's not going to let me attack him until I do some of this stuff.
Right. There's another question. It says, how do you guys feel about the censorship in the game?
Oh, you mean like no cigarette or stuff like that?
Yeah, I guess there's no cigarette, and there's no blood at all.
Right.
Even for some of the scene, obviously in the anime, a lot of the scenes are toned down, but they still do have some blood. There really isn't any in the game. I don't know. I don't really think the game needs it.
No, I mean it's not done for the story, and it also makes it just for a bigger audience too.
Right.
Because with games you have rating levels and all that stuff. I keep doing that too early. I think it's gonna hold.
Yeah, the timing on the balloon is really annoying, especially because those cannons have such a long warm up cycle. Like you see them going, and then there's like 10 seconds until it actually shoots it out, and so you're like trying to press the button to get ready for it, and it ends up being longer, and then you're caught in between. It's really annoying.
Now, what do you think of the camera in general? I think I'm not having that much of an issue with the camera at all.
The camera, like, you definitely have to know how to deal with it. It's not very good, but I think the points where you really need the camera to work well against bosses, there's a.
I like the lock on though.
Right, yeah, the lock on, and if you press L1 when you're not looking at them, when you're locked on, it will auto correct to show you the character. So, when you're fighting the bosses, which is when you really need the camera to be working right, use L1 a lot, and then you've got it pretty much under control. But it is a little finicky.
Yeah. All right. Someone asked, which level is the most fun?
What do you think?
Well, in main log and in another log, you have. Hold on. I screwed that up. You have different little things where they play differently. So in main log, like Baratier may be more of an action stage where you have to do like little quick time events to get through the level.
Yeah.
Or drum where you're carrying Nami through the level. But in another log, they're Muso levels. They're all like capture the area. So I mean, I enjoy NES Lobby a lot.
Yeah, I know. We talked about that with Greg a lot. Greg felt like NES Lobby was sort of the first instance where you really felt like it's you against the world type of thing, and it's definitely fun because some of the levels will have like little gimmicks, especially in the Muso stuff. Where, for example, when you go to Alabasta, you have to defeat the captains, or else Crocodile will send the sand whirlwinds and things like that.
Now, Steven, just a quick sec, since I'm on the screen right now.
Right.
We have the coins, and these are the coins where you could have different level sets. So basically, for this one, I have like Jackpot Luffy, which pretty much allows some one-hit KOs and all that stuff. This one allows me to raise my special bars a bit, and this helps me hopefully get that Doflamingo coin that I'm looking for, or at least higher rated coins.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, there are two that are like really special skills, and one of them gives you higher star ratings on your coins, and the other one lets you get more experience, which is definitely a must when you're trying to beef up your guys.
Right. Someone asks, knows certain arcs have been skipped, but has any part of the story been altered for the sake of gameplay, like exploring Krieg's ship? Well, we had sort of like jumping around on Krieg's ship with the action, which we're about to see. But we also, in the Muso level, we got to go through Krieg's ship pretty much, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's one very, very prominent example of
I know what you're talking.
The story being altered for the sake of gameplay, but let's we could save that for when we actually get to the end of the.
God damn that level.
When we get to the end of the story here.
Yes, I know what you're talking about too.
Let's just say Marineford is a little different.
Yeah, that too. I thought you were going more of the Warrior 7 area, where it was a casino like place.
Right. I guess I don't know. It doesn't seem as much like story being altered, but it definitely seems different than the way that you expect.
Is changed.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah, I mean they did a few things. I mean, we'll get to that Marineford level, which Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing that is, I think, like so obviously wrong or just weird that you're like, why
Right.
the hell would they do that? I mean, they definitely,
I mean, they did it for the sake of the game because you can't like
right,
lose to the final battle. Like you can't have like the final battle of the game be like, oh, and you lose to this person.
right.
So we just, I just consider it of it happened in Luffy's head thing.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, it was pretty damn awesome. But
right, right. It is a little interesting.
yeah, okay. I, you know what? Let's get off game talk for a while, and let's go to the actual series itself. I know you haven't had much of a chance to maybe explain on the podcast, but what are your thoughts of Punk Hazard?
So far,
Yeah.
oh man, it's been really awesome. I think pretty
Yes.
much everyone is in agreement on that.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's been really cool. Like I definitely feel like as far as the spot that I started having to actually work on the series officially, it couldn't have been a better position for me to start because it's like I'm the whole concept of getting to see the latest chapter like before anyone else does every week, and uh, just that sense of sort of starting on a new, just starting right at the start of a brand new arc, and
Yeah.
having that every chapter is some new totally mind-blowing thing. It's just been so much fun, and there's been a lot of like, even as from the translator standpoint, I've had a lot of fun working on stuff like the samurai. Like his dialogue is all really funny.
Dude, that character is great. Just the scene where they put together his head. I
Yeah,
was like, oh God, this is One Piece again.
yeah, and just the whole interplay of the sort of the story behind what's happening on the island, like the way that Oda sort of constructed it so that certain details come out in a certain order, and it all seems so bewildering at first, but then as you get more information, you sort of piece together what exactly is happening, and
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it's that classic One Piece feel where it's like you get to kind of figure it out. It kind of plays out like a little mystery.
right. Yeah, it definitely reminds me a little bit of, like right at the start of Water 7 when there were just so many things, like what's going on with Robin, and,
Right.
how are they going to get this new ship, and all these things. And, at the time it's just like the very tip of the iceberg. And I definitely feel like,
Right.
there's some of that going on here too.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I mean, how has it been? What's the difference do you find between translating, between doing your scripts and now doing for Viz?
Well, compared to how I would do things before, obviously there are definitely certain changes. Like uh, I don't just have carte blanche to make whatever translation choices I want. There's definitely like a style and a sort of um, like a philosophy behind Viz's things, and so sometimes I have to not do things maybe the way that I would wish to, particularly just the not being able to put in whatever translation notes that I want, just to explain something that's, and I think when you don't necessarily have to answer it to anyone else, it's easy to use those kind of as a security net where
Hmm.
you don't necessarily have to fully translate something. You can just say, all right, well, this is that, but here it has to it basically has to speak for itself in all aspects. So there are certain areas where you make little compromises, but it's been pretty cool, and I definitely we have actually utilized our sort of break, our 2-week overlap to make sort of late breaking changes to the way that chapters are done. So, it is, even though I think everyone wants to see that overlap period get cut down so that we're closer to Japan's release dates. It has come in handy here and there.
Yeah, and I'm glad that that the Shonen Jump Alpha is actually doing color. I know we didn't know at first, but I mean, like, that that color spread recently, because I picked up at Kino the recent Jump where it had like the One Piece color spread, which I think will be there in a few weeks. But no, that's always fun, and I actually thought that cover was nice. Now, do they? Yeah. Speaking of covers, have they ever thought of maybe using the cover from that week's issue of Jump if if it covers one of the series that they have?
You mean for the cover of the Alpha issue?
I mean, like, for example, with that one, they had like a nice One Piece cover where it'd be kind of like, that week, why not just use that artwork?
Yeah, I don't know how that works, because I really, I usually don't check up on the covers of the issues themselves from Japan, and definitely, when I get the chapters that I work on, it's just a file that has the chapter itself, so I don't really see much of the original covers, and I don't know exactly what the source is for the things that they've been using for their digital covers so far. I mean, I'm sure it's a type of thing that they have to. It's probably a tricky thing for their designers, because I know with a lot of American releases of manga, they don't always go with the Japanese cover, which is unfortunate. But obviously, if you're going to do that, then eventually, you have to get that cover quality illustration from somewhere, and chances are, there aren't just a ton of those lying around for you to use every time you want to switch the cover design.
Right. No, but I mean, yeah, the manga's been pretty incredible now. I have a question. If you were to get someone into One Piece, where would you start them?
I don't know. That's a good question, because I feel like, I mean, obviously it's so long that you can't just say, all right, you have to start at the beginning. I think there's definitely something to be said for showing them like a particular arc first, and then if they're really into it, then you say, all right, now go back and start from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, that's always tricky, because each has its own elements. I mean, like, while Water 7 is pretty good, it's not like an overall One Piece feeling kind of arc. I mean, honestly, at this time when Punk Hazard is released, I may be like, here you go.
Yeah, because, it's so meticulously constructed that I think, even if you don't understand sort of all of the characters and the implications of what they're talking about, you can definitely tell that, there's a very, very detailed and particular way that he's telling the story, and you can see how, how brilliantly it's constructed. And that's always a good thing to show off. I don't know. I may go for like Skypiea or something, just because
Skypiea is an interesting choice, because that does go on a bit long. I mean, it's a very good overall story.
I just think, like, particularly in terms of the setting, like, there are just so many fantastic scenes, like, locations in that one, with the upper yard and the huge jungles.
Well, you start with Jaya, which is
right.
And but, I mean, for the longest time, I always said the Arlong arc, but I'm kind of like, how much of that is just me as a fan, and how much of it is like, I could see someone really getting into it.
Right. I think it's tricky because the Arlong arc in particular, I think the Arlong arc is the area where, if you've been following it from the beginning, you see the difference between that arc and what you've seen before. And
you see the growth.
Oh, wow, this is right. but I don't know if to from an independent viewpoint if it has the same impact as if you had seen the Alvida and the Kuro stuff that seems a lot less harmful, or a lot more. I don't want to say childish, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oop. What happened there? Uh-huh.
Luffy has a death wish.
All right, putting on the hat. Yeah, that's just not fair. Okay, so I gotta say it's kind of fun going through the story as time skip Luffy. It's like you guys don't stand a chance. I hate these guys with the shields though, because it's like so much of it should like really work. But luckily you have like those circular attacks.
Yeah, and obviously after you've hit them enough times, the shield eventually gets knocked off. But
yeah,
it is annoying.
Oh, I gotta.
Fortunately, the one thing that I noticed is with the shield guys is that they never get spawned in a territory. Like they're always there from the start, and so usually that means you're running up on them, and they'll be in a big group. And so assuming you have your special filled, you can always just go right to that as soon as you see them, and that'll take out most of them.
Right. And here's some of the platforming aspects that we talked about.
Yeah, they can be annoying at times. I mean, once you're sort of used to it, and you can sort of pull it off quicker, it becomes less annoying. But
right,
it's yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's still the whole like L2, R2, L1 stuff is annoying.
Oh, in Water 7?
Or even in Marineford they had it a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wish like the one thing that really annoyed me was when you are doing these Luffy jumping segments is when I mean I realize that they don't automatically send you to the next one because there are areas where there's actually two choices, and usually one of them will lead to like a chest or something.
Yeah.
But it's so annoying when there's only one direction to go, but you still have to like redirect the camera to point at the next thing, because it just takes so long to do that, and it really sort of it ruins the kind of the feeling of just leaping around and jumping over all these obstacles that I think is what they were trying to go for.
Yeah.
But when you have to like fiddle with which way you're looking when you do it, it's I don't know.
Yeah, I gotta say I didn't mind so much the adventure stage with carrying Nami, because that I thought was pretty creative.
Yeah, I mean, I think they definitely looked at all of these arcs and said, all right, what can we do to make this unique from the other levels? And in some cases it led to interesting. Obviously with Nami, you have to make sure that you reach like these certain checkpoints where you can put her down and solve the puzzle in front of you, or fight the guys. And so there's a little bit of strategy involved there. But some of these are just like sort of wasting your time.
Yeah, I agree. All right, any other questions do we have? Oh.
I think somebody asked a while ago when we were talking about the manga. Do you still pick up issues of Jump from Kino?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, do you always? I mean, is that like something you get every week, or just every once in a while when you go there? Mostly
for color pages, but I will flip through I live in New York, where in some stores you could actually just flip through the issue and look through or read one piece.
Yeah.
I mean, but with color, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty savvy move. When you know that there's a color spread, to make sure you pick up that issue, but.
Right.
Obviously that stuff adds up. I know I've definitely seen, in the past year or so, because I live in San Diego, and so a lot of the big cities in California have Japanese bookstores, and the prices that they charge for their books have like almost doubled over the past year just
Really?
because of the exchange rate.
Yeah. So I think we covered, and I saw someone asked this. I know we covered like least favorite character to play as, but who's your favorite?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, Luffy sort of has the most care.
Yeah, I guess let's
But
exclude Luffy just because he does have
right,
the
right.
most.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like Ace playing as Ace is really fun
Yeah,
because he's just such a badass, and there are other sort of somewhat super-powered characters like Jinbei and Whitebeard are definitely really beastly, but they're also both kind of slow. And Ace has like the same quickness as Luffy and Zoro and Sanji.
yeah. I mean,
And
watching Jinbei run is always funny.
yeah,
They're not as fun as Brooks. I love that they kept Brooks. What the heck? I love that they kept Brooks run with the hummingbird effect kind of thing.
yeah,
But no, favorite. I think aside from Luffy, I really like playing as Zoro, and it may just because I'm like, holy crap, a game actually got playing as Zoro right. Because he's
yeah.
always usually super slow or toned down or something weird.
Yeah, it's definitely you can't really go wrong playing as Luffy or Zoro or Ace.
Yeah, I mean, Sanji has his own issues. I mean, with Sanji, you have to be really careful of your moveset because sometimes you'll start kicking the air and you'll be
Yeah,
hanging there for a while.
yeah. He's not quite as universally easy to play as Luffy and Zoro, but he's still pretty good.
Right. Alright, let's see. Let's go gear fourth on his butt. Probably. Oh yeah, that's
You're
stupid.
fourth.
Gear third. His fourth special. But, anyways, it's a waste because, you can't. Just remembered I can't go past a third.
Yeah.
Oh well, I'll beat him as Mini Luffy. Come on, get over here.
All right. About how long does it take to play through the main part of the game? Do you recall how long it took you, Jason?
No, because I did other things as well.
Yeah, I think I generally, when I got a new character, I at least tried like the first level of their
Another log.
side log. Yeah. Yeah, one thing to note is you were just talking about one of the difference between the bosses in the main mode and the side mode is that the Luffy fights are sort of structured a little more cinematically. They have stages where you can knock the boss down to a certain point, and then you can't hurt him anymore because he's going to either change his style or he's, in some cases, like they'll jump up out of the stage and then you have to like deflect their attacks
Right
or,
here,
or
for
something like
example.
that. Yeah, here we go. And so you can't necessarily just take them all the way down with one hit, whereas on the the other modes, basically, if you're playing with another character or if you're playing online, if you're strong enough, you can basically kill the boss with one hit if you want.
Yeah, pretty much. Or like with this, it like started the move set, and then I ended up getting him one hit anyways because Luffy's maxed out.
Yeah.
I mean, even though this is hard, it's pretty easy until I think CP9.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you still get issues even in that level, even though characters.
Hang on a second, I got another ad.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, I mean, also talking and doing the square mashing kind of puts a vibration. It's pretty. I wonder how that looks like just jamming down on the square button.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I mean, you could also put it on easy and then probably breeze through the game. I know I didn't.
Right.
I always first time I'm usually normal. Let's go through normal. I don't want to like
Right.
get super frustrated with the game yet, but at the same time, I want to go through it. I don't know. I like normal. I think normal's a good starting point. Sometimes, like if there's a sequel for this, I may start with hard, just because I'm used to the game mechanics.
Right.
And it'll be interesting to see if you could import like data, for example, like import like levels of characters, like if they up the max, for example.
Yeah, that would be an interesting thing to see how they handle it. Because obviously, there's a lot of questions about how they would do a sequel because
Hmm.
you know, you don't necessarily know if they're just going to like do they just add new levels and then they sort of do the whole it's like the same structure or do they make it a little different? Because it does seem, I mean, obviously with like Dynasty Warriors, where they have the same characters and the same levels,
Hmm.
uh, they just sort of redesign the levels and add more characters. But I think with One Piece, when it's so specific about the story scenes and all the moments and things like that, that it might be get a little old to have them just do the same thing with more content. So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see how they plan to go about a sequel to this.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like it's getting a sequel just based on sales. I mean, I think that goes
Yeah,
without saying. But I
they
mean,
they would be crazy not to make another one.
yeah, I'm interested though if they're like, One Piece on PS3 sells, maybe Grand Battle 4, please.
Hmm.
That would be
Yeah,
nice.
I guess it depends on
Yeah.
whatever the studio that made those is doing now, because this is obviously developed by Omega Force, which does the Dynasty Warriors games for Koei. It doesn't normally work with Namco Bandai, so
Right. But maybe Namco Bandai is like, One Piece on the PS3 sells.
yeah.
I mean, Grand Battle 1 and 2 did sell, like, win awards, I think, even.
Hmm.
But, I mean, those were good games. I mean, honestly, I think Grand Battle 3 and Rush should have been 4 players, but hopefully now they'll be smart enough for that. 2 players is a little outdated. Let's actually touch on that quickly. Multiplayer, the horizontal split.
Yeah, so
Or
there are
vertical
two,
split, I mean. Yeah.
yeah, there are two methods of playing with more than one player, and the typical online mode, you just hook up with another player, and you obviously have the full screen to yourself. But when you do the side log, another log, another person can jump in as you're selecting your character, and for some reason, I don't know why they did this, they chose to split the screen vertically. So you have a left half and a right half rather than kind of the classic style, which would be, you split it horizontally. So one person is on top and the other person is on bottom.
Hmm.
Uh, and I really don't know. I mean, I understand that obviously, pretty much all TVs these days are widescreen. And so you have more horizontal space than vertical space. But the problem is that because you don't even jump in this game, so there's really no vertical aspects to the game.
Right.
If you
Unless
if
you're
you
Sanji.
right, but uh, you only really ever need that left to right scrolling, and so it feels very narrow, and it's definitely also true that it's just not very well optimized for that. I've played it a bunch, and the frame rate can be pretty bad when you play with 2 players. And obviously, if you have 2 players that know what they're doing, you're probably not going to be in any danger of losing. But if you're trying to
Right.
play hard and you're fighting really tough bosses where you need to have perfect reflexes, you could find yourself in trouble because the frame rate is so low.
Yeah. I mean, no, yeah, I agree. I mean, the only thing about online mode is I wish after we finish a battle that we could stay in the same, like, you
Yeah,
know,
it's not very well designed as far as multiplayer goes. It's very annoying to get someone else in, especially. I mean, I'm guessing it's probably easier. I didn't do any like random game joining with strangers, but if you want to play with your friends who are online and playing the game, it's way too hard to go through that process. It's really annoying.
yeah. All right. Well, I think that does it for our very first episode of Grand Line Gaming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
I think this works out great. I mean, we ended up talking about video games a little more than I thought, but I mean, I do encourage like questions that just relate to the series, or even not One Piece in general. Hell, we'll talk about anything. This is more kind of like a let's hang out for an hour kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, No, good talking to you. I hope you all enjoyed. Please leave suggestions in YouTube comments below, because this is going on YouTube, or if you're viewing it on YouTube, it's on YouTube already. Shut up. But no, leave comments of how we can improve, and I'll try to get different guests like every time. Like, I mean, Steven, you'll probably be on for a majority.
Yeah, it works out well for my schedule. So yeah, I'll probably be available most weeks. But yeah, definitely, get some fresh voices in here.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I know Sunday works great for me because it's a day where it's kind of just like lay low the day before like new work week, and I when it on weekdays I have to worry about maybe staying late with work, and then Saturdays you go out, you have fun. But no, this is a good relaxing day, and I hope you all enjoy. But please leave comments, leave feedback. What would you like to see? What would you like to improve? What games would you like to see after we're done with Kaizokumusou as well? And you know what? I'm going to be lenient. It doesn't just have to be One Piece. So we may put like a few like things, like say there's a new downloadable game, we may switch it up every once in a while. Like do half of One Piece, half hour One Piece, half hour something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, I hope you all enjoyed. Everybody, thanks for watching. As for us, my name is Jason.
And my name is Steven.
And we will see you next week. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, tune in.